Warning, there's an M-rated game on this list, so viewer discretion is advised. I just finished a list of the top 10 worst games that I reviewed this year, but let's end this year on a positive note. This is a list of the top 10 best Wii U games in 2015 that I reviewed. Now, some of these games might be years old, but as long as I reviewed them this year, it qualifies. Just to remind you, I only review Wii U and Wii U eShop games. This year I decided not to include any virtual console games. Sorry, Duck Hunt. If there's a game on this list you think should be there, it's probably because I didn't review it this year, or it sucks. So with that said, and once again to count down this list, here's the littlest Wiiviewer.
Number 10.
Citizens of Earth. I enjoyed this RPG a lot more than I thought I would. I liked how you could collect characters to join you on your fight, and the story, while crazy at times, was still enjoyable.
But every person has a special skill. So, let's say the school mascot, which you meet fairly early on in the game, he can raise and lower the difficulty. If you hire him, or recruit him, you can raise and lower the difficulty at any time. And there's tons of characters like this.
All you have to do is find him. You don't actually have to recruit him to do your thing.
Yeah, you don't have to recruit anybody if you want to do their special skills.
But if you want to unlock some of their deeper skills, like even harder difficulty, or even easier difficulty, you're going to have to level them up. Now, that was one of the things that I thought was kind of cheap. It got to a point where it's like, this might as well just call them the citizens of the option menu, because he's drinking water right now. Do it! 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 Spit it! Spit it! Spit it! Spit it! Oh!
I'm good.
I almost had him. Oh man, he was drinking water, and I was like so close to getting him when I said citizens of the option menu. But is that not true? Is it citizens of the option menu?
It's kind of true.
Number 9.
Mario Party 10. This version of the Party series has a new gimmick that I liked. Everyone was in the same car. It sped up the gameplay, which helped the pacing, which I loved. While they did have a bad amiibo mode and an overpowered Bowser mode, it was still a pretty fun version of the series. This one was very weirdly against Bowser. He's once again really big. When he's playing tennis, you don't see him taking over all the entire court. Mario's like, I can't serve the ball because I keep hitting him because he's so big. No, he's shrunk down. Now, I guess you could say he ate another star like in Mario Galaxy 2. Well, now, let's say this game takes place in between when he actually grabbed that star in Mario Galaxy 2, but before Mario defeated him.
So they just had like tea during some kind of random time?
Oh, you know they're best friends.
Number 8.
Sing Party! I can't believe how much I enjoyed this game. It had a great soundtrack, and the voice tracker used to check your vocals actually worked. That one blew me away. This game is fairly old for the Wii U, so you can pick it up fairly cheaply now, and it really is a hidden gem of the Wii U library. You can adjust the volume of the music and the vocals so you can hear yourself singing. Now, just because nobody asked for it, and I'm sure nobody really wants it, here's me singing a little bit of a song. Get your earplugs in. Just a kiss in your lips in the moonlight. Just a touch of your fire burning so bright. No, I don't want to mess this thing up. I don't want to push you too far. Just a shot in the dark that you might the waiting for my whole life. So baby, I'm all right with just a kiss. Good night. Okay, that was terrible.
Number 7.
Lego Dimensions. I do like the different direction this game went, as it wasn't just a carbon copy of the Skylanders or Disney's Infinity series. It really did feel unique. There were plenty of fun levels to explore, but I just wish there was more coherent and it wasn't just one random level after another. Plus the price is what kept it from being any higher on this list. Batman, Wildstyle, and Gandalf join up to slide from one dimension to another. They find more pieces of the dimensional portal and use its powers to boost up their powers as they travel through the dimensions. The places they visit are so random. They're always finding a piece of the portal wherever they go, but the narrative of the story is so jumbled it feels kind of shallow. The worlds can range from confusing to really fun. The best one had to be the Doctor Who world. It had a bunch of fun little things that the fans could enjoy, plus the storyline for that world made sense for the craziness of Doctor Who.
Number 6.
Yoshi's Woolly World. As a spiritual sequel to Kirby's epic yarn, this yarnified Yoshi game was a delight to play. The gameplay felt different in every level, which I loved. My only complaint about it was that it was too short. My son 100% of this game in just a few days, so that's why it's not rated higher on this list. When you eat an enemy, it puts them into a ball of yarn.
ball of yarns are basically like the eggs, except for the bigger one. Doesn't behave like the big egg.
When I saw Yoshi spit out that big egg, I'm like, ooh, you're gonna need some cream. 'Cause that's gonna hurt.
Another thing about the yarn balls is that they're a bit weaker than the eggs were. Like, for example, they can no longer one-shot a piranha plant. They can only stun it.
It wraps a yarn around it to hold it in place.
Number 5.
Lego Jurassic World. Look, 2 Lego games on my top 10 list. I don't know if that's ever happened before. This one was more of a traditional Lego game, but it also had a surprise for me as I wasn't expecting a Lego version of all the movies on this game. But there it was. They were all well done in their own compact yet Legoized versions of them. They let you play Jurassic Park and Jurassic World straight off the bat, but you're going to need to beat Jurassic Park in order to access the next movie, which was disappointing. Why not just leave it all open for us to choose? I'm sure there's someone out there who would rather play The Lost World instead of Jurassic Park. I mean, come on, there just has to be. There's got to be some crazy guy out there who's like, you know what? Lost World was way better than Jurassic Park because it's got more Ian Malcolm in it, and that's always good. Actually, it's probably Jeff Goldblum who believes that because he probably got a bigger pay. Back to the game.
Number 4.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I love this idea. Have a character explore a world and find secrets that are only a rotation away. Even the levels that may look simple might have hidden areas that change everything. It's not the first game to use rotation as a gimmick, but it sure is the most enjoyable. So this one's actually a, what would you call it, a spin-off of a game from another game?
It's basically the levels from Super Mario 3D World.
Right. The one that everyone was like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. We gotta make that into a real game.
Actually, it was originally planned to be a real game, but let's not get into that right now.
When would we get into it? In my Bayonetta review or something?
Wait, what? No.
Oh, just like in the middle of my Bayonetta review. Did you happen to know that Captain Toad was actually supposed to be? No, let's get into it now.
It was originally supposed to be a game, and then when it was presented, it's like, what's this? And just brushed aside, but then they decided, you know what, let's put this in this game. And then eventually they just decided to make it into a full-blown game.
So they put it in as kind of like a proof of concept sort of thing?
Yep.
I was listening in, I'm the little Wiiviewer. When this game was pitched to Miyamoto and the Nintendo company, they thought they were selling him real dioramas, so because the levels were so small. And they were pitched as a Legend of Zelda game because they thought that Mario wouldn't be able to jump, so it wouldn't fit in his universe. Miyamoto flipped the switch, and they made it this. They didn't want to make it a full-blown game because they didn't know how it would be, so they put it in Mario World to test it. And since that test went fabulous, they decided to make it a full game.
Isn't that what we basically said?
No, you didn't, at all. You failed miserably.
Number 3.
Bayonetta 2. I've never been much of a fan of these action games, but this one won me over, with its over-the-top fighting sequences and strange but interesting characters. It wasn't an easy game, but it sure was a great one. Now, I knew this was an M-rated game, but the sexually charged gameplay just shocked me. Bayonetta really loved taking off her clothes. And I was like dumbfounded the first time when she did a Sailor Moon transformation into her costume by blowing her clothes away. And then all of a sudden being wrapped up in her tight-fitting costume. Those were not the only moments where her clothes took vacations. Also when she does a final summons against a boss, they go tearing away from her. Almost like the magic was coming from her glorious boobies.
Number 2.
Super Mario Maker. I know a bunch of people out there could just be spitting their drinks out on the monitors. I can almost hear the complaining from here. This game is great. There's no denying it. Being able to make your own levels based in the time periods you find most enjoyable was a fun concept. Even the on-screen tools were simple to use. It really helps bring out the creativity in the kids who use this. Sure, that is fun, but it's more fun to play other people's devilish levels.
As for 10 Mario Challenge, you unlock for clearing that absolutely nothing until you clear every single last level in which you unlock the Nintendo World Championships levels. Then after you beat those, you get a special prize.
What's the special prize?
In the original Super Mario Bros. Theme, you could get a weird mushroom, guaranteed, which is a random chance normally.
It makes
It's
you
the
turn
same
into
thing.
Luigi, basically.
That didn't look anything like Luigi.
It gives you Luigi physics.
It looked like he went on Slim Fast and said, you know what? 10 weeks later, I'm going to the beach.
And number 1.
Splatoon! This is the game that I played the most this year by far. With the many updates this game has gotten. The character designs and the gameplay were just fantastic. Plus I love the different ways you could play the levels. And overall the fun of actively playing with other people in the worlds was just a ton of fun. It was just an amazing title. So apparently Nintendo was watching a lot of paintball and said, you know what if we just did that to the extreme? And then we got Splatoon, a game where you're half human, half squid, and you can transmorph into that squid at any point and you can swim in it. It's really weird.
So obviously one of the main mechanics of this game, other than shooting ink, is turning into a squid.
Wait, is it ink or is it paint?
It's ink.
Then why does it look like paint?
It looks like, well, now that you... Wait, what?
Is it ink or is it paint? Ink is something you use in a pen, and paint is something you use on walls and floors.
I think it's both.
So shouldn't it be Paintopolis?
Shouldn't it be Squidopolis?
Inks are what squids squirt out, but they're not squirting them out of any of their orifices. Well, that's my top 10 best Wii U games that I reviewed in 2015. I want to thank everyone who's been watching my videos for these last 8 years. As I start up my 9th year of doing this, I can't wait to see what Nintendo has in store for the future. I want to thank everyone who subscribes to me. I want to thank you again, and I want to wish you a very happy new year.